forward to the cloud. So like I said, we are going to record this benefit of watching it. And okay, there we go. So the recording is going. Again, we are on our, so welcome again to the application review webinar. I am Erin Bevel. I am one of the co-founders of the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund, and joining me also is Mama T, Tepfirah. She's also one of the co-founders. So we're just gonna walk through the application. So we're so excited to be going into our third year. And so we wanna make sure that everybody, we've kind of refined the application over time. We're excited to make sure that, you know, folks know what they need to know so that they can apply. A lot of these things that we have in the application are there specifically to help you in the process with the land bank as well. So, but we'll talk about all of that stuff. So again, we're on our website, DetroitBlackFarmer.com, and if you head over to apply, that's where the application is. It's a Google Doc. And then I see, okay, we got a couple of folks that are just joining, so welcome. And you would click on apply now, and that'll take you straight to this Google Doc. So not sure if folks have looked this over yet, or if this is your first go around looking at the application, but we just, you know, we make clear right at the beginning. So we're targeting, and actually T, can you, because of this screen thing, maybe if you could run the chat, or if you could like can you see everything? Okay, cool. Because if I open the chat window, it's going to open on top of the application. So that these funds are specifically targeted to Black growers in the cities of Detroit, Highland Park, and Hamtramck. So those are the places where, you know, if you either are already farming and gardening there or are looking for land to do that on, it would need to be in Detroit, Highland Park, or Hamtramck. Funds may be used for land purchases as well as infrastructure projects and equipment needs for the land that you are either you're going to get or that you're already on. This is something that we added last year because we recognize that, you know, you can't just give people land or help people get land and then walk away, right? There are all these other pieces that go into having a successful, you know, farm or garden operation, and we want to make sure that folks have access to that too. So you can apply for just land or just infrastructure or both. And again, we'll go over that a little later. We do dispense our funds directly to the Detroit Land Bank Authority for the land purchases. Once you get to the purchase agreement function or part of the process, and then we get if you have infrastructure funding only, we will distribute that either to the contractors or, you know, or sometimes we are able to directly make those purchases. And so we've actually, again, updated the application so it reflects that. And our awardees also, this is a new thing this year, will have access to up to $500 for skill building, professional development, in addition to their award, right? So you want to go to, you know, a master gardening class or a farming class or visit a farm or do something as it relates to, you know, adding to the skills that you have in order to steward the land. There'll be up to $500 available for each awardee to do that. And of course, our intention at the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund is to rebuild intergenerational Black farmland ownership. Our applicants must share that mission. That's essential and it's important. It's the reason that we exist. And we'll talk later in the application. It's also the reason why we ask you to commit to farming or gardening the land for at least 5 years. And again, that's later in the application, but just want to flag that for you all. And then T, is there anything in the chat? I see but I don't know if anybody's saying anything.
No, I just dropped the website and
cool.
Like that in there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right. Oh yeah, and it says that I didn't know it said that here. Awardees will be expected to use the land and for other agricultural purposes for the next 5 years. And then there's an FAQ sheet, right? If there's any, we'll answer questions here tonight. But if you're going through the application, you have any other questions, you know, it's an FAQ sheet is specifically attuned, you know, to the application. So it'll answer some of those questions. And there are documents that you must upload, and that on the last page, that's where you can upload those. And we give information about how to complete all these. And then I think we wanted to even kind of, let me click on this. Okay, and this is a guide. So a plot plan is just showing us on that piece of land that you are, that you would like to buy, or that you already are farming or gardening on, showing us and eventually the land bank what you're gonna do or put on that land, right? And so this is a guide that kind of walks you through how to create a plot plan. What are some of the basic things that you need? And of course, and T, you look at folks' plot plans before they go to the land bank, right? Okay. So you'll submit. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yes, this is really important because when you apply for land with the land bank, this is what you need to turn in for them. If you want to scroll down a little bit, I just wanted to also mention that this can be hand drawn. This doesn't have to be like some kind of architectural rendering. You can literally hand draw. If you scroll down, there's a few examples, Erin, of
Okay.
just really measuring out the lot and putting the features that you want on there. It should include an example of what's on each side of the lot. So yeah, I'm sorry, keep going. It's more
Keep
towards
going.
the
Okay.
yeah. These guys.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so
Okay.
yeah,
There we go.
super simple, hand drawn. Indicate on your piece of paper, what's on the side of the lot. Is it a neighboring lot? Is it a abandoned house there? Also, you see these dashed lines are the actual property boundaries. So go ahead and indicate the property boundaries, indicate the measurements for those boundaries, and anything you want to add. You want to add raised beds, they're 4x8, put that in there. And where you want to put them in there. If there's existing trees or an existing fence on the lot, if you want to add a water catchment system, anything that you want to put in your garden, you should put on this plot plan.
Thank you so much. And again, so that, it can be, handwritten. This guide is just meant to kind of help. Here's another example, just kind of help you, get an idea of, how to draw it. And what are some of and this is good, what are some of the things you want to make sure are on there? Is there anything that's existing that's, like T was saying, that's there? So this again is linked. I just got to this page from the application directly. So I'm gonna go back to the application now, but that if you click on this link, that's gonna give you that access to that document. And then a simple budget, we also asked for, so I'm gonna click on that too. Would you like to make a copy? Yeah, so you wanna go ahead and make a copy because we made a budget template for everybody. And so this will take you to Google Sheets where you can fill in your budget template.
Can I just say one point about the document here, because I was on there and I had a person call and had an issue with the document. If you're on your phone, this might be better to do on your computer, because if you're on your phone and you don't have the Google Sheets application downloaded on your phone, this is going to look funky and it's not going to allow you to edit the document. If you're on Chrome or pretty much any computer, you're going to have access to Google Sheets, which is the application that allows you to actually edit this document. So I just wanted to say that also for the editing, for the recording purposes.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. And I guess I would say probably, maybe it's a good idea. You can change the title here, maybe put your name. That will certainly help us out. In terms of reviewing all the applications. Remember the first year we got like 60 applications. So we definitely, anything that helps identify you is helpful. And here is in terms of your budget, making sure that you fill in kind of what items you're trying to get. If it's an infrastructure item, what is it? Letting us know, how many, how much, and then also, like I was saying earlier, this is also an opportunity for you to give us a link, right? So let's say you want a storage shed and you find one at Lowe's, right? You can put the link to the storage shed you found at Lowe's right here, right? And so that makes it easier for us. If you're awarded, then we can just go on there and make the purchase for you, get it delivered to you, and that will all be done. So we want to make this as simple as possible for you all as well. And that's a part of the budget too. And doesn't the land bank also ask for a budget?
Yes, when you're applying for land, it doesn't have to, the land bank's budget isn't this in depth, only because we're going to be purchasing things for you on here. But the land bank definitely wants a budget for all of the things that are on your plot plan. So, so this is good just to think through either which way.
Right, and this gives you an idea of funds, how much stuff like this costs, and then again, we as we give out our awards, we're able to figure out how much we can allot per person. So this is and I didn't ask after the plot plan things, but I'll stop here and ask: Does anybody have any questions about the documents? Like I said, we wanted to make sure to open them so folks could see what they looked like, and I'm glad we did, like with the budget template, so T could touch on maybe open it from your computer, not your phone, when you're ready to do it, right? And then here we have a little timeline of some of the things that have been going on. Some of them have already happened, like the application opened on Juneteenth. T did a really good purchasing land for farming class last week, and that's on Keep Growing Detroit's YouTube, I believe. So you can check that out even if you missed it. Where this is the event we're doing now, the application review webinar. July 4th, I'll talk about this at the end. There's a fundraising event for us that I will talk about. So we will be doing something on July 4th. This year also, if you have questions or need support with your application, you can set up a time to meet with one of the co-founders, probably T, but maybe one of the rest of us, and you can set up a time at this link to do that. I don't know if I need to click this link, but it's a Calendly link, so you can set up a specific time. Applications are due on July 25th, and then we will take the rest of the summer to go through the applications, submit any awards, and then we will announce awardees in September. In October, there will be a mandatory orientation for everybody, just to bring everybody up to speed. Sorry, I went too fast, and now I have to go back up. Hold on. All right. And and schedule a one-on-one. So one of the co-founders will be working with you one-on-one, either on your land purchase, your infrastructure work, whatever you're doing. We'll have someone that will be your point person who you can talk to.
Before you jump into the application, can I say one thing about, just for the recording too? If you could scroll up, there was in the document section of things that we're recommending that you. Some things are.
That's right.
Yeah, some things are. We need them, the plot plan, the budget. Letter of support. We got a lot of questions last year. A letter of support should definitely come from ideally someone not affiliated with the Black Farmer Land Fund, and it should come from someone, ideally from someone in your neighborhood, somebody who knows about the project, or somebody who knows about the work that you've been doing. It shouldn't be like from a family member or from yourself. It should definitely come from someone who's not necessarily associated with the project, but understands your mission and agrees with your mission. And then I will say that photos and videos of your farm, if you have them, or even concepts that you have, or videos of wherever you're currently farming, all of those things really help to tell a story about who you are. Sometimes we know you, sometimes you apply and we recognize your name and we know you, and sometimes we don't. And so if we don't know you, also this year, we won't be reviewing these. These will be reviewed by a team of farmers who may or may not know you. So as much as you can exemplify, even in the questions that Erin's going to go through, but the photos are really a good chance to show your work, show what you're doing. So I just wanted to highlight that before we moved on.
No, thank you so much. I skipped that. So that's why I'm glad you're here for lots of reasons, but definitely because you're helping me out. So yes, these are the documents that we're asking that you upload. Again, that'll be on the last page of the application. And so we will jump in to the questions. This first question, again, very important. It kind of goes over, what we talked about earlier, our mission, our intention, which is to cultivate a community of local Black farmers who serve as co-stewards of farmland, but also of the wisdom and knowledge necessary to feed and support the wider Detroit Black community at large. By applying for and receiving these funds, you're becoming a part of this intentional community of Black farmers, and you will ensure that the land is used to further this mission now and in the future, right? Do you accept? And we say there, if the answer is no, you probably shouldn't apply. So we just always like to, start and be clear, about where we're coming from and what we're doing. And so we always ask that question first. And then first, we want to know a little bit about you. applicant profile. Are you applying on behalf of yourself or a business, a corporation, a block club, an organization? And again, this incorporated community organization block club, we have had just, groups of folks who live on the same block who want to do a community garden together. So, it's not necessarily that you have to be, you don't have to be an entity, right? But we're just asking, we want to know kind of what your position is as we look at your application. This too is important about, do you identify as Black, right? Do you and/or your business, nonprofit, community organization identify as Black, right? So if it's a group of people, if it's an organization, we want to make sure these funds are and have always been for Black farmers and growers, and so we want to make sure that the group that you're applying with also, identifies as Black. And that we're making sure that this is going directly to Black folks, to Black people. And we recognize and honor everyone's right to self-identify. And using the term Black, we're referring to those who, due to intergenerational racism, have had limited access to capital and land as a result of enslavement, racial discrimination, and racialized poverty, right? If you feel you meet this standard but don't identify as Black, please clarify, okay? So again, we start with the heavy stuff up front, just to make sure that this is the right place for you. And we did have a question on our Instagram the other night about, can people of color apply? And we're Black people, but we are very intentional about supporting efforts for people of color, growers of color, I guess is a better thing for me to say, indigenous growers. We do a lot of work making sure that we support those communities in self-determining and growing their own food as well. But this is specifically for Black growers. And so we ask for your name. If you're with an organization, what's the name of your organization? Email, very important. Make sure these things are, make sure that someone can reach you, right? Because if we have questions about your application or we need to follow up with you about documents, et cetera, we want to be, so especially if you're applying like on behalf of a group, make sure the email address or the phone number is someone that we can reach. So that's important. And then, also a mailing address, zip code. And then this is important too. I run the social media for the Black Farm and Land Fund. So it's always important to, if you have a website, if you have social media, if you have any of that, make sure to list this here. Because again, as T was saying, like the picture, it can kind of help contribute to the, to the full story of who you are and what you've been doing and what you would add to the Detroit Black Farm and Land Fund family. Please describe in detail any formal training or classes that you have gone through to develop your gardening and or farming skills. So this is the place where, again, if you master gardening program, maybe you studied agriculture in college, maybe you went gardening program in high school, any kinds of formal training or classes that you've done, we want you to list those here. But then below, we understand that there are other ways that people have acquired this knowledge and that those other ways are important too, right? And so we're not just looking for formal training. We recognize that there are all kinds of other ways people gain this knowledge. So detail your life experience with cultivating land. Are you a legacy farmer? Meaning, did your grandparents or your parents who had a farm, did you grow up learning to grow food and plants? Have you always had a garden? Have you worked on a farm or on farm land, right? Any of these things and a variety of others could make up, what your response might be to this question. And so we want to get a sense of both, your formal and informal. I hate to use that term, but any other training that you may have that you bring to your work.
And can I just underline one thing that you're saying here in detail? All of your applications will be reviewed on a rubric. So we're looking at a number of things in the rubric. One of them is your experience. We don't want to give folks land who might not necessarily have the skills to be able to cultivate that. Let's work on your skills, and then we don't want to put you in a bad position either. So we want the project to be successful. One of the things we're looking at is what's your level of experience, whether it's formal or informal education. please describe that in detail. So describe the land describe the relationship that you have with your grandmother and how you learned, describe the classes that you took. This is all going to add detail. So just imagine if I'm judging one application that says, I went to 2 classes, and the other application is like a paragraph that says like, I went to this class on composting and I really enjoyed it. And I really feel like I learned about, carbon and nitrogen, you know what I mean? Like really take some time with these questions and give as much detail as possible is my advice.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's very important. So that we can, again, get a full picture of who you are. So those are the questions that we ask about you. That's where we start, and then we move to the land profile, right? So tell us more about the land where you currently or hope to farm or garden. And then are you currently farming or gardening? If so, where or what's the name? And again, there are some folks who are, in the, who are awardees who don't have their land yet. And so they're growing on somebody else's farm. That matters, right? So, I mean, let us know if you have a plot over at Sanctuary Farm or wherever, let us know that. So, because that all counts. And that's all important. And if you're currently growing, also, tell us about not just the garden or farm name, but the address if you can. Well, not if you can. Is this a required question? Yeah, if you have the information, we'd love to have it. How much land are you currently farming or gardening on? And this can be a total number of lots or square footage. And which best describes your current land situation. And we make sure to, all of your application, is confidential, but we want to make sure that people understand this in particular will be kept confidential. Because we know some folks might be growing on land that they don't own, right? Or might be growing on land in their community that they haven't purchased. We want to know that so that we can support your efforts, but we're not going to share that with the land bank, and we're not going to share that with with anybody else. So let us know, kind of where you are from that perspective. Do you own the land, but you want to purchase more? You're currently gardening or farming on land that you want to purchase, or you're looking for a completely new project. And of course, other. And again, if you're picking other, again, make sure to be detailed. Like, let us know why the things that we have listed don't apply to you and how you fit in there. Are you a member of Keep Growing Detroit's Garden Resource Program? Learn about it more here. Okay, Keep Growing Detroit's Garden Resource Program provides support, classes, seeds, seedlings. I don't know if you guys provide compost. What else do you guys provide, T? I don't want to limit what you guys do. I know Keep Growing Detroit does a lot for growers in the city.
Yeah, all the things that you named, in addition to technical assistance, and we do have the community tool banks out there's one on the east side, one on the west side, and one centrally located.
Awesome. So yeah, make sure that you are a member and have signed up. And you can click that link, and that will take you to the website about the Garden Resource Program. Also,
I will
so
say
we
you
do
don't
want
have to be a member to you don't have to be a member to be awarded. We just want to know. It just gives us more information about where you are. So I just wanted to say that explicitly.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think we suggest, like, there are all kinds of resources that Keep Growing Detroit can help you with. Again, whether you are awarded or not. But thank you for clarifying that, T. Have you performed a soil test on the property? So this is important, especially for those of you who are present. If you've identified some land and you're thinking about growing on it, but you haven't yet, or maybe you've started but you didn't soil test. Definitely, we want to make sure that everybody has soil tested their property, right? We are urban growers, and so because of that, we have, there are some times where we have issues with lead in the soil and other kinds of things that would negatively impact the things that you're growing, right? And so before we embark or support you in a land purchase to grow food or to grow anything, we want to make sure that it's safe for you to do that. Of course, there's all kinds of lead remediation and things that you can do on land, but we just want that knowledge, having that knowledge of whether the land is clear for growing is really important before we make a land purchase, right? Because the land purchases through the land bank are you take the property as is. And so if you get the property and it has a high lead content, it has a high chemical content, you can't give it back, right? And so we want to make sure on the front end, if we can, that we don't have those problems. And if you are awarded land or infrastructure, a soil test will be required before your purchase can be approved. So if you don't do it before the application, you still are going to have to do it at some point. Soil testing costs will be rolled into your final award amount. Okay, so and if folks want to get soil tests before they're awarded, can they contact Keep Growing Detroit for that? I think they can.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
If you are a Garden Research Program member, you do get 1 free soil test, and if you are awarded, you will get up to 3 soil tests for free. So.
Right, because the other thing is, so let's say that you have identified one lot. So one soil test is not going to tell us what the lead and other content is in the whole lot. And so we might have to do more than one soil test. So we make sure to help you out with that. But yes, Keep Growing Detroit can help you with soil testing if you want to do that, and if you can do that now. And then this is important. We want to make sure that folks are if you're going to be purchasing land in a community, we want to know what your relationship is to that community. It doesn't mean that you have to live there to get awarded or to be there and do this work. But we want to instill that it's important that you have a relationship, not just with the community, but with the neighbors, with the people who are around it. As opposed to one of the things that necessitated the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund was because there were people from other states, other cities coming into Detroit and buying vacant land and not talking to the people that were there and just doing whatever they wanted to do. And so we are against that, and we want to make sure that folks, are connected to the land that they are going on or planning to do that on. So we do, again, be specific here. Like, how did you find the land? What's your connection to it? What's your connection to the neighborhood? And this too, what is your engagement plan with the neighbors in the community, right? That's because, we don't want people just going in and doing the work and not being connected to who's around them. We know that that's happened in our communities. And so we want to have a new paradigm, right? We want to create a new culture around that. So make sure that, when you're answering this question, to let us know what your connection is to that space.
So
all right, and yeah, it really, and again, in terms of the application review and all of that, it just is a story about kind of put into this, not just the work, but the application and what you put into kind of doing your homework, so to speak, right? Making sure that you have those connections, you've talked to some neighbors, and that they know what you're doing. And I'm sure they'll be enhanced by it, right? But talk to them first. For your project mission and vision, right? So this is about, what you want to do on the land, right? How are you going to steward the land? What does that look like? And tell us about your mission and goals for your garden or farm. What are your plans? What types of crops are you planning to grow? And are you producing any value-added products, right? So value-added products would be if I'm growing raspberries and then I want to make it into raspberry jam. That raspberry jam is a value-added product, right? So we want to know, from seed to harvest, to market, what's your plan? What are you planning on doing? And give us a good vision of that so that we can be there with you and understand what you're bringing to the community. And then who are you growing for? Please check all that apply and clarify if you select other, right? So for your family, for your community, you want to, maybe there's something else that you have in mind. And again, we have some folks that they want to do like children's gardens and things like that. So, make clear, what your vision is, so that we can see it too. And I am applying for funding to purchase land, infrastructure, equipment, or land and infrastructure, right? And so depending on what your answer is here, and I forgot, I should have been checking things as we went down so that we could go to the next page. So just give me a second to just add some stuff. Don't do this on your real application. I'm just doing this so we can go to the next page. But yeah, so because most of these questions are required, they have a little star by them. So I want to make sure that you check all of those before you can go to the next thing, and that you fill in all the answers. So like those aren't required for the garden name. Yeah, are you currently gardening or farming? All right, so hold on for just a second, y'all. I'm trying to think.
While she's doing that, is there any questions from folks on the line about the profile at least? Feel free to come off of mute if you have a question about so far in the process.
Mm-hmm. And so as you can see too, though, kind of it might be good to, go through, like look through the application, kind of have some of your stuff prepared so you can sit down and do it all at one time. And so let's start with, if you're just wanting to purchase land, I will click there. Or did I miss something? I did, and that's important, right? Do I accept the mission? And that's very important. Yes, I do. Okay. Let's go to the next one. All right, and so here we ask some more specific questions about land. Now, if you're applying for land and infrastructure, you'll still have to answer these questions regardless. But if you're not, we don't take people through it if you're only applying for infrastructure. What is the specific address of your first choice of the land you want to purchase? This link will help determine parcel addresses and publicly owned land. So I'm going to open this link. Okay, and this is some of this is the subject of T's webinar that she did with Keep Growing Detroit last week, right? So that's, you want to purchase land for your farm or garden. And so this is the parcel viewer. This will help you to identify where the land is. So if you know that you're looking for, you're looking for this empty lot, here's an empty lot right here on Snowden Street, right? So you'll click on it, and there's a yellow box that comes up. I think I need to go down farther so you guys can. Isn't there something else that's supposed to pop up? Hold on. There we go. So this will pop up. It will let you know, who's the owner, who's the taxpayer, sale price, some other things. Is it vacant? And so it is important. I think we'll go through this question somewhere. Is the land zoned for residential land, or is it zoned as commercial land? Because that is, it can add issues to the process, right, if it's commercial. So keeping that in mind. So this is where you can get a lot of this information. How big is the land, or how big is the lot? What's the square footage? So all of this information you can get, and you can put it in, up here. Here's a line you could search by address too, right? I just picked something that was on here, but you could search by address as well, and that will get you to the information that you need for this question. So let me go back.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you scroll down too, there's one other piece of information, just the depth and the frontage. So we mentioned the plot plan. If you're drawing a plot plan for this is how you would get the front and the side, so the depth and width of your and how you would get the measurements for your plot plan. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yes, thank you. But so yeah, all of that information is here. So this is meant to help you. This link is help you identify land. So again, just for the purposes of the application, I'm going to go ahead and throw this address in there so I can keep going. All right. And then, so we have had situations in the past, unfortunately, where maybe you select a piece of land, there's a piece of land that you've been eyeing, you've been looking at, and again, maybe it's commercially zoned, maybe it's in a development, it's slated for development by the city, and so it's like really expensive. I'm trying to think of what are some of the other instances of what happened, T, but there were some folks that just couldn't, there was some land that we couldn't make it work. And so we ask folks at the outset to identify a second piece of land, right? And this is required, right? Just because I had folks that have gone all the way through the process and gotten all the way to like almost the end of the land bank process, then the land bank says we can't you or whatever. And so then they have to like start all the way over from identifying a new piece of land. And that can be hard. Ask that you identify pieces of land at the outset that you could complete your project on. Okay, and so again, this is the same link, and I'm going to put the same address again for the purposes of now, but don't put the same address. Don't put the same address twice on your application, please. Thanks. And then here, more questions again that are answered by the link that we just looked at. Who owns the property you want to purchase? So make sure you know that. I was right. How is the property zoned? Right. So make sure this is very important. We need to know upfront if it's commercial, because that's kind of like a different process. Do you live in the neighborhood where you'd like to purchase property? We talked about this in terms of the engagement with the community, but there's no wrong answer, right? Just because you don't live there doesn't mean that there are lots of people that farm and garden in other communities, so that's fine. We want to know this, like side lots, neighborhood lots, because some of those you might be eligible for some of those programs. So let us know what your status is there. Have you made any attempts at purchasing the land yet? And so again, that's helpful, shows, your engagement with the community or your engagement with, that piece of land. And especially if you've already submitted a property application to the city or the land bank, we want to know that, right? Because if you're awarded, then we want to jump in where you already are, right? We want to jump in and move forward from where you've already developed, the work you've already done. And again, no wrong answer. We just want to know. If you have attempted to purchase, please describe where you are on. This is the tough part for a lot of folks, right? Because and not tough to answer the question, but like maybe you've been trying to purchase for a couple of years. Maybe you've had an issue with the next door neighbor, or maybe they could have got it as a side lot. You don't know if they're going to do it. So all those kinds of things, we want to know that here again, because that helps us on the back end, helping you move through the land bank process. And then, super important question. What is your watering plan, right? So this is just kind of like the soil test, right? We've found over the last 2 years of doing this work, and T has been doing this work way, way longer than that. But, we've found that sometimes folks don't have access to water. And like, depending on how large your project is, you may need, some kind of rain catchment system. You may not have, access to water, especially if it's a vacant lot, right? So, you don't own the house next door. You don't have somewhere where you can get water. So this is something that you also need to give some thought to, right? So if you're trying to farm or garden on a vacant lot and you don't live next door or something, what's your plan for making sure that you can water your plants and water your flowers or water whatever you're putting in the ground? Again, KGD and there's some other, and KGD is Keep Growing Detroit. KGD and some other organizations have, provided support to our awardees with water catchment systems and putting those in place. So, but it's something that we're finding is really important, and that folks maybe hadn't thought about before they get on land. So we're helping you in asking you to think about it here. To purchase land through the DLBA, they require you're not delinquent on property taxes on any property you currently own. Please let us know if this is the case for you so that we can help. Again, we just want to know, so it's not doesn't work against you. It's just something that we need to know so that, we can help you through the process. All right. Average land purchases.
Can I just underline there? And
yeah,
just to underline that, if there's a possibility, if you had back taxes or something like that, and that was a barrier to you purchasing the land, we'd also like to know so that we could roll that into your award if need be. So just want to add that in there.
Yes, thank you. Because we love y'all and we want y'all to be able to get on land, even if that, even if you've had challenges, you know what I mean? So thank you, T, for under. So yeah, very important. Let us know, so we can support you. Average land purchases of a single lot range from $100 to $2,000. We want to support as many people as possible. If you are awarded, how much are you able to contribute toward the cost of the purchase price? Again, it's just so that we can manage and plan how much we're awarding per person. And that goes into how many awardees we're able to support, right? And so, if you have, some money stacked up on the side and you're like, oh, I've been waiting for this, or maybe you're like, oh, I can contribute a little bit, every little bit counts and helps, again, especially if we're able to get, if it's a neighborhood lot, a side lot, something like that, you know, we can support that, but we just want to know if there's money that you can contribute to this, how much can you contribute? All right, and I think, oh wait, I forgot. Well, I'll finish the questions and I'll go back and fill them in. I forgot. All right. Land ownership is power for our community. It also implies increased responsibility that we want to make sure you're aware of. So this includes paying property taxes, keeping the grass cut, cleaning up after illegal dumping, water bills associated with the property, and possible liability if someone gets hurt. Please check here that you're aware of the increased power and responsibilities of land ownership, and this is something that you can handle, right? It's really important to us to provide, I guess, you know, what we call wraparound services to our awardees, right? Making sure that folks have what they need to be successful. But, you know, we want to make sure that you understand kind of what goes along with that as a landowner. And so that's why we have that question in here. We talked about this on the last page. We asked that the land remain in production for at least 5 years. Can you commit time and energy to this project for 5 years? Okay, so hopefully you say yes. And actually, I don't know if I have to fill these in because I might go back to do the land and infrastructure. So anywho, should something happen before 5 years though, and you can no longer continue the project, can you commit to supporting another Black farmer and or their project, right? So, you know, we understand that, you know, things happen, things come up. We want to make sure that, again, intergenerational Black farmland ownership. So we want to make sure, even if it's not you, or even if there has to be, you know, some kind of other arrangement made, that you're still committed to making sure that there's a Black farmer on this land. And so that's what we have there. And are you also applying for infrastructure funding? Oh, okay, so maybe that'll take us to the infrastructure stuff. All right, if anybody has any questions, well, let me fill in these bubbles. I forgot to do it while we were going along.
You're doing a great job because there's no questions in the chat.
Oh, cool. Okay. Hey. All right. I put the addresses and then I forgot. Okay. Who owns the property you want to purchase? T. You own it. Okay. Commercial. We're making this up.
You gonna make me a landlord in this one?
Yep. A commercial landlord. I live right next door to you. Hold on. Have I made attempts? Yes, I talk to her all the time. Okay. What's your watering plan? Yes. So don't do this. These are not sample responses, okay? What's your watering plan? Yes. That's not the right answer. Okay, no. All right, next. Let's see. Is this going to go? Here we go. Yes. So if you click yes down there at the bottom, that will take you also to the infrastructure and equipment readiness part of the application. If you're just applying for land, then it'll just take you to the last part of the application. But if you also, and we find that most people, you know, are applying for land, but then also some of the necessary infrastructure to maintain that land, right? And so let's talk about that a little bit. These funds are specifically targeted to Black growers in the same cities, right? Detroit, HP, and Hamtramck, to support infrastructure projects and or equipment needs for land where they're farming or plan to farm on. We will award up to $2,000 as an infrastructure award. Total project costs may exceed this amount, but the awardee would be responsible for the additional amount, right? So we'll pay up to a certain amount, and then we'll ask that you support, you know, anything over the $2,000. And again, here we go. In detail, describe in detail the infrastructure project you're hoping to complete and your equipment needs, right? So I want to make sure I want to purchase this land on Snowden. I don't have any access to water. You know, I need to make sure that I have a rain catchment system. You know, I looked up, you know, this kind of rain catchment system. I think it would work with my plot plan. Here's how, you know, here, and that's the kind of thing, how much it would cost and all that would go on that budget sheet, right? So let us know in detail what you're applying. Will you be completing the project yourself? Okay, let us know if you're doing it. Do you have a contractor? This will be a mix of contract work and do it yourself, right? What was the plan to get this done, or what's your vision? And then I'm not sure is also an answer, right? That's okay. Like maybe you're not sure. I'm going to put I'm not sure. I don't know. If you're hiring a contractor, have you received a quote for services, right? Again, so this is helpful. If you're like, hey, I have identified this rain catchment system and it costs, I don't know, $1,000, and I talked to, this contractor, and they gave me kind of a breakdown of what it's going to cost and all of that. And so if you've received a quote, please include it in the budget section, okay? And then infrastructure project budget, description of costs and estimated expenses. This is the template that we looked at earlier. If you need technical assistance developing your project, please contact us at our email, which is DetroitBlackFarmerLandFund@gmail.com. What I don't know, T, is if they add the file here, does that mean they don't have to add it later? I feel like probably.
Actually, yeah, that was a change we made this year, because that budget was more related to the infrastructure part. We just put it in the infrastructure.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, cool. And I don't know, is this gonna let me keep going if I don't add a file? I might just add a picture. Okay, let's see. Just hold on. Let me go out to the bottom. Let me see if I can fudge it. Okay. Looking at your budget, which infrastructure categories best describe what you are requesting? Okay, so let us know, like, what are the things you need to be successful in your project on your land? Let us, check and again, there are, tool banks that we are connected to so tools is something that, we can certainly support with, but some of these other things, they may need to be things that are infrastructure purchases for your land specifically. So let us know if there's
we get the randomest donations and things like that. So it's like, okay, Michelle says she needed fencing material, and somebody calls and says, I want to donate fencing material. We can easily identify who needs those things, and that's the reason for this question too.
Yep, and then this is not required for some reason. It should be a required question, but I'm just going to check some stuff. Storage, soil mulch, and raised bed material I need. Okay. And then what is the total amount needed for your project? Same as the land. What is the amount you're able to contribute? Oh, let's just say, okay, total amount is $1,000. All right, I am able to contribute $100. And have you completed other projects on your land? I'm in process. Okay, let's see. It's not probably, let me see if it's gonna let me go. Nope, here, let me see if I can add a picture.
We need that budget. We need that budget.
I know. I'm just gonna select a random file. Here, can I select a picture?
Yes.
Oh, here, maybe I can, here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna upload this flyer. I don't know how long it's gonna take. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, this is gonna be, we're gonna look at this application and be like, who is this?
And then like, their land is owned by you, TC.
Right, yeah, they're gonna be like, what is going on? You're almost done. So that's all the hard stuff, right? Like identifying the land, making sure that you've broken that down, identifying what the things are that you need. And so now we're just kind of wrapping up. What would support from the DBFLF, that's Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund, because we know that's a mouthful, what would that mean for your business, nonprofit, community organization? So this is important. Like, let us know. You've been trying to do this for a while. So many people that we award, say, I've been trying to do this forever, and this closed the gap for me, right? And so, like, let us know how this would close the gap for you. Like, how would this bring you closer to something that you want to do and have been working on, but perhaps haven't had, the ability to complete? Let us know that. If you're awarded money from, I love farming. Okay. If you are awarded money from the DBFLF, are you okay with this being public information? Are you okay with us telling your story on social media? So just let us know that. We do love to share, on social media about you all, about the awardees, what you all are doing. We love to support what you're doing, whether it's a farmer's market, a CSA, you're growing things on your land, you're having a tree planting party, whatever you're doing, we want to put that on social media if you're comfortable with that. And so let us know that so that we can start pumping you up. So I would say yes. And then just finally, is there anything else that you want us to know? Okay. Thanks. Okay. And then next. Yep, and here's the file upload, right? So we talked about here, copy of your plot plan, and it has this link again, right? So you don't have to like go all the way back to the beginning. Letter of support, like we talked about. So testimonial from someone who believes in your project and has confidence in its completion. And this is important. If the parcel you're looking to purchase is adjacent to a home, you must have a letter from that adjacent neighbor or a letter from the community member from the neighborhood where you'd like to purchase, right? Because again, as probably some of you know, sometimes there are issues, there's a lot, and you want to get on it, but there's a neighbor who has a right of first refusal, or there's someone adjacent who also, neighborhood lot people, I think, also have a right of first refusal. And so we want to know that there's at least been a conversation between you and that person, about what your project is, about what's going on, so that, we don't start the process of getting you on that land and then, they exercise their right to purchase it or whatever. T, did you want to add anything about that, or?
Yeah,
No,
I was just thinking
earlier,
because we're about to go hard for you. So we don't want to go hard for you. And there's somebody that doesn't want to see your project successful. Let's have a conversation with that person first.
So this is important. So yes, letter of support, and then please include a photo or video of you in a farm or garden space. If video, it should be no more than 1 minute. Again, it's a great opportunity to give us, a chance to see you, see who you are, see the work that you've been doing. And I don't know what the last page has on it, but I can just add some files here so we can, I think the last page is just like a thank you, but I'll just, just for the sake of making sure that we go through everything. I wish people could see that, because that's tomorrow is that thing at that listening session, right? At KGD. And no, it's not tomorrow. It's Wednesday. There's a USDA is having a listening session for local farmers. So very important that you attend.
I will be out of town for that, unfortunately. So everybody go and kick up dust and let them know.
Right, exactly. All right, here we go. Oh, that's a picture I just got today. That's you and Brenda.
Send me that picture.
I will. It was Danielle's picture. She emailed it this morning, I think. Okay, yeah. This is the last page. Additional resources, right? So whether you are awarded or not, we want to connect you to technical assistance and resources to turn your vision into a reality, right? So even if you don't get funds from us, we still want to make sure that you win. You're still a Black farmer or a Black grower, and we want to support. Maybe you'll get awarded next year or something. Maybe there's some things that you just need to do, and we want to still be able to support you. So here's Keep Growing Detroit's garden development, and so this is where you can get soil testing, site visit, garden planner design, community engagement, making a budget, things like that. So you can click on that link. And then Detroit community markets, right? Connections to local farmers markets where you can sell your produce or where you can shop. And so that is, I don't know if I'm not going to submit it just because we know all my answers are not accurate, but that is our action. And I'm trying to think. So we clicked on all the links. I just want to make sure that we did everything we want to make sure to do for the recording. So folks have everything that they need. Again, there's a frequently asked questions document that's linked at the beginning if you have further questions. And then if anybody that's on has any questions now, again, if I put the chat up, there we go. It's gonna show for everybody. But okay, letter of support. Oh, can you explain the letter of support? Who should I ask for that? So I think we talked about that. Okay, yeah, there we go. And T answered that. Yeah, but does anybody want to come off mute? Anybody have any questions? Has anyone started the application and maybe has run into any issues? Or because we want to know that too. We want to make sure that it's easy for you all to get through. We don't want there to be snafus or hiccups, and if there are, we definitely want to know so we can fix them. So if anybody is on and has any questions, and this recording will be available. Like I said, we recorded this. And we will make it available on our YouTube page and on our website so that you guys can come back and refer to it, answer any questions. And also, again, there's a link at the top of the application to sign up for a one-on-one with one of the co-founders for help with your application if you need it. So yeah, we developed this over the last couple of years, like never thinking that this would get this big, right? And so, this is I think it's a good work, but it's still a work in progress, right? We've really developed the application to try and capture as much as we can so we can make the best decisions for the fund and for our community. So yeah, so if there are any questions, let us know. But I don't know. Else do you wanna?
Nope. I think, whatever, if there's, we do support people with drawing out the plot plan. If that's something that's a barrier, we can walk through the budget with you. We really want to make sure that we know that, Black people have experienced enough barriers to owning and acquiring things within the system, and we are hoping to remove those things. So whatever support you need, if you're not a computer, if you're not a techie person and you need somebody like actually upload the things with you and all of that, feel free to make an appointment with us. Be happy to do that.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Gosh, I'm trying to think. I feel like we have a good group. Everybody has asked the questions that they needed to ask. The only other thing that I was going to share was, let me see. Like I mentioned, we have a July 4th. Is this the right one? No, this isn't the right one. Sorry. We have a July 4th. Here we go. There's a fundraiser happening for us on July 4th. So some of you may know that Frederick Douglass, 170 years ago, this year, which is crazy, gave this speech on July 5th called "What to the Slave is the 4th of July." We changed it to Negro instead of slave. But and I mean, when I was reading the speech, I mean, it's astonishing how many things that he talks about in that speech that are still relevant today, 170 years later. So anywho, wanted to incorporate his speech. In the tradition is a jazz ensemble. They have a bunch of songs about some of the other revolutionaries, that we call collective ancestors in the Black community, right? Frederick Douglass, Sada Shakur, Nat Turner. So they specifically have some songs about like the revolutionary spirit of the Black person, right? And so they said they wanted to donate their funds to us at the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund, which is awesome, and the Shrine of the Black Madonna. So this will be happening on July 4th on the lawn at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. So it will be outside in terms of, COVID restrictions or whatnot. It should be a really cool event. Again, it's $10. I think it's only $10 for folks to attend. And even if you can't come, still, if you want to purchase a ticket, those funds will be, again, going back to the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund and also to the Shrine of the Black Madonna. It is a fundraiser for us. So please consider coming out and supporting especially this year, with all these things that the Supreme Court is doing and everything that's going on. For me, it just makes it even more like I can't celebrate July 4th in the regular way, right? And so it's a good way for us to come together and do something different and say, we're going to celebrate us. Right, and we're going to celebrate us on July 4th. So feel free to join us. That would be really awesome if you did. And I'm trying to think if we have. Yes, please come.
Yeah,
It'll be great.
I gotta go get my ticket.
Yes, get your ticket. I was gonna say they're on Eventbrite. I think you can still pay $10 the day of. And then the only other thing I will ask you guys to do, your Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund T-shirt. So if you're an awardee, you'll get a T-shirt. But if you want to purchase one, we do have a link on our website so that you can purchase a Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund T-shirt. That's one of our awardees with her daughter and her Black Farmer Land Fund T-shirt. That was at Oakland Avenue Urban Farm on Juneteenth. We had a great time. So yeah, those were the only announcements that I had. But we appreciate y'all coming here. And again, this was recorded so that we could. Oh, hey, I see Mama Boniswa just joined us. Hi, Mama Boniswa. But we want to make sure that everybody knows how to walk through the application. Again, this will be available on our YouTube, which is also accessible from our website, which is DetroitBlackFarmer.com. So check us out there. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, so we look forward to seeing your applications. We wish you the best of luck. Again, we are, so excited to have the privilege of stewarding this fund so that we can support more of you getting back on vacant land and doing something beautiful with it. So thank you for your commitment to that. Thank you for your commitment to our city. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yes, an honor and a privilege. Take care,
Yep.
guys.
All
Good
right.
night.
All right. Have a good one. All right. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna stop recording.